Demystifying a mayoral campaign here with Chloe Hutchison. Chloe, what can you demystify committees? That's a big part of local politics. Can you help us understand those?
With pleasure. So, council, in order to complement its competency on different levels, and also to integrate the public into its decisional process, has access to advisory committees such as town planning advisory committees, which we call TPAC. And TPAC's mandate, basically, the basic mandate of TPAC is to review projects that have a discretionary sort of look and feel aspect to them that an employee does not have the right or the mandate to review. The employees get to
A town employee.
A town employee in urban planning, when reviewing the receivability of a project, can give basically their feedback on dimensions, on the normative aspects of a project. But when it comes to how a project integrates, or its look and feel, the taste of it, does it match what it should? There are laws or bylaws in our town that will give very clear objectives and criteria of what is looked for, and that is TPAC's mandate to review and make recommendations to council.
How are our bylaws right now?
So what is unfortunate is TPAC's mandate is very narrow, and they only have these very set and very tight criteria and objectives, which in some cases do not apply very well to a given situation. So when you're trying to look at a project and prove or show that it doesn't fit, but you have objectives and criteria that they can't really use because they're not applicable in this sense, and they could apply to another town, but not necessarily to this particular sector in Hudson, it makes it very difficult for TPAC to be able to make a recommendation to basically say to council, this project needs to be refined on these bases. So we need to review our bylaws, our discretionary bylaws. We need to improve them and make them site-specific to Hudson.
To basically tighten our bylaws up.
Absolutely.
Not so they're not cut and paste from other, make them ours as well.
For example, yeah.
And what you were mentioning to me, that TPAC's role could be expanded outside of the role of what it is.
Thank you. Yeah, so right now we've basically streamlined their mandate to be very narrow, to be the minimum in the law. And I think that there is value to this committee that is representative of a slice of or various slices of the population. We have a person from the commercial core, we have a person with an architectural background, we have someone with the arts background, and others. And I think it would be very judicious to include the town planning advisory committee in other bylaws, so the more general aspect of planning, of town planning, could be whether it's on parks or whether our parking bylaws need tweaking, or even to some extent if we would add a person with environmental background or even archaeological background or heritage background. We can also then ask them to review site-specific demolitions and tree bylaws and others. So there's a lot of ways to basically improve on their mandate and to include them much sooner to improve our bylaws and our process.
Is there anything else we could do to help our mandate or our committees?
Well, so that is one committee that is active. It is mandated by law, and they meet once a month. I believe there's there's at least the cultural committee, as far as I'm aware. I haven't really seen exactly what they're working on. But of course, we also have in the law, there's provisions for an advisory committee on agriculture. We could have one specific to environment, we could have one specific to heritage, and so on. But all of these should basically feed the decisions that council needs to make, and that is to our best, to the best of Hudson, basically to be looking to our local experts and to bring all of their value. And a lot of them have been suggesting or volunteering basically their time for us, and we need to roll that into our process and bring them in to our decisional.
Yeah, that's
structure.
Tremendous value that Absolutely. They offer.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for clarifying that, Chloe.
My pleasure.